everybody, welcome to Cerwin-Vega's, and today I'm going to be doing some recones. Now I have 3 different recones I really have to get done this week, hopefully as quickly as possible. I got a woofer from the 12 TRs that we've been working on. I really got to get that other woofer all finished up. I've got, if you guys remember this video, this is bad. Got to get this one done as well. Also another one, if you guys remember this, if you've seen it. Recone this one, and there's a problem with that one too. It seemed fine, it worked fine, it was good. I used it actually for quite a while, and it wasn't until I did some videos and stuff, and I was really starting to push it. And all of a sudden I heard snap. I knew that wasn't good. That's right. Failed Recone. I mean, you can tell because of how it is. I screwed up. But I'm gonna fix it today, which is good. Actually, it works out for the better. This is a Recone that I got from Speaker Exchange, Simply Speakers. I don't know. It was one of their generic kits. I screwed it up, I think. I'm pretty sure I screwed it up. We'll find out. But I'm pretty happy I get to redo this one with a Brew City Audio Recone. They're just better. Now this isn't meant to be a step-by-step tutorial on how to recone your woofer. There's already some videos out there on that. One of the better ones, in my opinion, is by Brew City Audio. So if you search Brew City Audio on YouTube, he has got a video on reconing. And in my opinion, is probably one of the best foolproof ways of doing it. He's got some interesting techniques that really, I think, are gonna help a lot of people out, and I think it's really kind of hard to screw up if you follow his directions. Now, it is kind of a long video. I think it's over an hour. It's also unedited, but with that said, it's still worth every minute, because if you follow what he does, there's no way you can screw it up. So definitely recommend checking out his video if you're really wondering or just need some help with the reconing process. I'm making this video because 2 of these woofers are from previous projects, and just I've done videos on these speakers, so I just kind of want to add that in here for just the whole restoration process. I'm really bad at putting things off, and I end up working on other people's stuff, and a lot of things get put to the side. But I'm bringing you guys in for a closer look, and we're going to take a look at what I'm going to do in this video, and then I'm either going to do both and the same video after this or whatever. I don't know, I haven't quite figured it out. But this video is gonna be on a 15 2WR woofer out of a D-9 and many others. I know you can see it's kind of dinged up. I've been kind of rough with it, but like I said, I screwed up. So let's take a look and see what happened. Okay, there we go. I got everything all cleaned up. Some of you might have noticed I didn't tape off the center there right away. Probably should do that. I recommend that. As soon as you get this gap opened up, the first thing you should do is tape this off, and just you don't want to get any stuff inside it. The less stuff that you get inside this gap, the less you got to clean out later. This is clean enough. You guys don't have to polish this thing right up. The biggest concern is just to get all the chunky stuff off of here so everything just lays nice and flat. So you don't have to get, it doesn't have to be clean enough to eat off of. So this is good enough. Now, I just wanted to go through this. I mentioned that I screwed up, and this is the assembly that I pulled out. And I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what happened. I wish I would have had a video on that, because then maybe I could have gone and watched the video and seen what I did. Somehow I ended up placing this spider quite a bit too far up on the voice coil former. So this coil sat way too far into the magnet gap, and when operating and giving it enough power to get enough excursion out of it, this was slamming the back of it. I also want to mention with these 15.2WRs, so if you look at mine, now mine are from a set of, they're a little older D9s. If you look at this magnet, I had to correct myself here. I noticed while editing the video, I called it the magnet. It's not actually the magnet itself. This bumped piece and the back of this woofer is actually the back plate of the magnet, just so I clear that up. You got this bump here, and it just allows for a little more excursion, to whereas this one doesn't have that. So it is a little more crucial on that voice coil placement on this guy, because you have got less room. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but it definitely, as I found out, can definitely make a difference. To be honest, with how this was done, this might have even bottomed out in this guy. I don't know what I was doing. Damn. Oh well. Okay, so the way I do most of my recones, when you're pulling a woofer apart, is super crucial to keep these parts together. I already showed you this. Now this is the crucial part. You want to know where the cone and the spider, specifically the spider, that's the most important part. You want to keep the old one. Hopefully it's still intact. Sometimes things get pretty destroyed. You want to know this distance from the bottom of the spider to the bottom of your voice coil. This is very crucial, as I found out. The problem here is I don't have the original. The original got thrown out after I installed this Recone. So I know it has to be, this spider has to sit further down on this former so that the coil doesn't sit so far into the gap, but I don't know the exact measurements. So what I did is I actually contacted Brew City Audio just for some information and just to see if he had the measurement for the bottom of the coil to the spider. And he did. He gave me that measurement. Although he's a busy guy, he's got lots going on. I don't always expect an immediate response from him. I know I don't always give an immediate response to some people as well. I'm particularly bad for that. So I was kind of wanting to get along and move along. And then I thought, hey, I got a set of PD3s, Cerwin-Vega PD3s that a friend brought to me actually, and they need some work. He brought them to me for diagnostics and repair. So I thought, hey, PD3s, it's a 15-inch woofer. It's also a 15.2WR. And I remembered from when I pulled it out that day, they also run the older style flat bat magnets. So same thing. So I got to pull one of those apart because I knew one of them was destroyed. I was pretty pumped because it's still the original spider, still the original voice coil, and I could get my measurement that I need from the bottom of the spider to here. But I also had to watch out, because if you can see here, because this was also damaged and seized up inside there, I pulled a bunch of the wire out that had separated. You can see right there that without it being attached to the cone, it was not straight in the gap, and it rubbed and broke it. And anyways, but there was still enough of the bottom of the former, thankfully, that I could get my measurement that I needed. And it's a much smaller measurement than the one I'd use. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know. I screwed up. I don't know. And what I did here is I just took this, just whatever piece of paper, cardboard, kind of something stiff enough. You guys can use whatever you can use. And all I did was take this, move it up to the bottom of the spider, and made my mark where it is. So I can do the same with this. Now, obviously, I got to move that up. The way I've done it has always worked. When I have the right measurement for how far the coil sits in the gap, but I don't screw it up like I did on this one last time. this works as well, but again, everybody kind of has their own way of doing things, so. All right, now I got this all reconed, all the glue is dry. It's actually been several days. You always want to let everything sit and let the glue dry properly before you move on. I mean, normally you could put the dust cap on right away. I didn't, just because of the way I do it. I'm gonna wait until I've got it in the cabinets, just because when I restored my D9s, I don't know if the holes were exactly where the old ones are, because I filled them with some 2-part epoxy to fill in the stripped holes, and then I want to make sure that this dust cap and the emblem on it is going to sit perfectly level once they're in the cabinet. So I usually glue the dust caps on once I have the woofer installed into the cabinet. That way you know for sure that this emblem is going to sit perfectly straight. But what I do first is I mark center-ish, because I've been there where you get the dust cap on, and I've done it and I've glued them kind of crooked sometimes. It's really hard to tell on these. It's kind of a tricky thing, and you get better at it the more you do it. But what I still like to do before you even glue anything is I set it in there, and you can take measurements, I suppose, if you want, but I usually just kind of move it in there, and then I give the woofer a twirl, and then you'll be able to tell by looking at it if this dust cap is wobbling differently than when you're lying around your foam here. And I keep doing that until I think it's perfectly straight. And then honestly what I do, and some people might disagree with that, is I take a pencil, once I know it's straight, and I just lightly mark around that dust cap with a pencil. Trust me, you'll never notice when it's done. And that, to me, it's better than having this thing all crooked. So then what I can do, once I put this and install this back into my D9, what I'm gonna do is, I don't know if you can see the pencil mark there. I'm actually gonna put a little bit of glue all the way around just underneath that pencil mark. I used to put the glue onto the dust cap itself, and I would use tape or something so I can just kind of hold it and put it on straight. Even then, sometimes I screwed it up. So this is a much easier way, just a little bit light glue underneath the pencil mark. And then even if this doesn't sit bang on perfect where I have it, I can move it around a little bit and I don't risk getting any glue on the outside of it where you can see it. And then it ends up looking a lot cleaner. Okay, so eventually I'm gonna get everything put back together here, but as you can see, I still have some things pulled apart. Here's my upgraded crossovers. I had to kind of pull and desolder some stuff to get these apart, because my original plan was to upgrade some of the coils on here, not these ones, because these are good. It was the big coil for the woofer. This guy here, I wanted to upgrade this guy. I don't know if I'm actually gonna do some tests. Well, I know I've measured these and they measure really good. The problem is this coil is not the right DC resistance as the original, but because they measured fine and they sound really good, I don't know if I'm gonna worry about it. I'm not actually gonna throw everything together right now. So unfortunately, you're not gonna see me glue the dust cap on just yet. Maybe by the time I upload this video, I'll have it done and I'll add it in here at the end. Maybe not, I don't know, no guarantee. But this is the same kit as this one. So now they're both of my D9s have matching Brew City audio Recones. I'm pretty stoked about that. And yeah, it'll look just like that when they're done. Still, like I said, stuff I gotta put together on here. So I'm super excited to get these things back running again and back on my shelves, because these are the ones I use in my shop. Right now I've got my 215Ps up there right now, and they're nice, they're loud, they're a pretty good speaker, but these just sound so much better. Okay, I got everything put together now. I got both of them set up. I brought from inside my favorite preamp and power amp combo, the Adcom GTP 500 preamp and GFA 555 amplifier. This is a 200 watts at 8 ohm rated power amplifier. Probably like this amp and preamp with my D9s, you guys, is to this day probably still my favorite speaker and amplifier combination. I love the way it sounds. That Adcom has more than enough power to push these D9s to their max, and it is just so much fun to listen to. You can see underneath, I've just got this speaker up just to match the height of that one. I've got the bass built for this one, but I never did put the actual bass. I have the bass built for this one, but I haven't put it on yet because it goes up here in my shop usually, and I'm just a limited space because I've got my air compressor mounted on top. So I do have it and have it built. If I ever do put them somewhere else, I'll put the bass on, but for now it just fits a lot better without the bass on. So I thought I was just going to put some music on, give a quick demo on these things because it's just so much fun, and that's pretty much going to do it for this video.